I wanted to
Yeah,
ask
go
you
ahead.
about another study you did, and this was mapping fecal viruses globally. So they were traveling through global waterways, and I saw a map that you produced online, and there were kind of red spots where there were hot spots of viruses traveling in the waterways. And it wasn't just in the developing nations, it was in the United States too. So what can you tell us about that study and what we can learn from that?
Yeah, I think that we have so many opportunities, and one of them is using next generation technologies. And I think that's everything from monitoring to treating water and to new sensors. But one of the things that that study really surprised me, and I learned so much, was that we were using this next generation sequencing technology. And normally, when we look for viruses, we kind of say, oh, we're going to look for these particular viruses that we know about. But the next generation technology gives you this really wide view of all these different kinds of viruses in a water sample. And we were looking at ballast waters that would be moving around through, shipping. And so I was just really surprised at the number of viral pathogens
Hmm.
that could be identified in these waterways. And these were fish pathogens, even human pathogens, pathogens that affected shrimp. And, interestingly enough, these viruses are jumping, they're jumping from animals to humans, or freshwater shrimp to marine shrimp, or vice versa. So what we're seeing is that we are transporting some of these water viruses around the world,
Hmm.
and they can then end up somewhere and establish, themselves.
Hmm.
And where we're finding them they're also linked to areas where there's disease,
Right.
you know, in the, in those communities. So I think these new technologies are really going to provide us with more awareness of emerging pathogens, which is certainly, one of the topics we're talking about right now while we're in a global pandemic.
Mm-hmm.